Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Soothing Sundays. How are you? So, I live stream twice a week, Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific, and here Sundays at 5 p.m. Pacific. And on Sundays, we go over a nervous system regulation technique that you can use throughout the week to help regulate your nervous system, just so you don't get thrown off, whatever throws you off. Maybe it's anxiety, maybe it's lethargy or depression or thinking you're not good enough, whatever that might be. So for you, but just keep you on track and keep your mind focused. Hi, Avian, how are you? Hi, Bob, how are you? So the nervous system regulation technique for the week, it's based in the Silva method. We did a variation of it before. So, and it's a form of anchoring. So anchoring is when you associate something with something else. So we're going to associate calm, peaceful, focused energy in your mind with this. So with the Silva method, it's you put your two fingers together with your thumb, right? And it could be anything. You could, have a rubber band on your wrist or whatever, but you're going to do this because you have access to your fingers all the time. So you're going to bring your two fingers together with your thumb, and then you're going to close your eyes, and then you're going to do a body scan and just make sure everything in your entire body is relaxed. And if it helps, imagine a light, like a light that's a nice color that you like, and it's literally going over every part of your body, and it's relaxing all the muscles in your forehead, around your eyes, around your face, around your jaw. Especially, we hold a lot of tension in our jaw, your neck. You feel your shoulders relaxed. We're also breathing deeply. I forgot to mention that. So we're breathing deeply. The shoulders are relaxed. All the muscles in the arms are relaxed. And even though you're holding your fingers like this, your fingers are relaxed. And so you're going to do that all the way down throughout your body, all the way down to your toes. And you can imagine any tension just leaving your body through your feet into the ground. Okay, the ground knows what to do with it. And so you're going to say to yourself, every time I have my hands like this, I'm completely relaxed, I'm completely focused, I'm completely at peace. And then say that to yourself a few times as you feel yourself completely relaxed, I'm completely focused, I'm completely at peace, I could get what I need to get done fast. Boom. Whenever I have my hands like this, I just go into that. And in the Silva method, it's called the alpha state. So whenever I'm like this, I just drop into the alpha state. And there are certain speakers that do this sometimes. Like, you probably don't even notice, but when people are on stage, they do this because they learned it from the Silva method. So in telling yourself that whenever I'm doing this, I'm focused. Whenever I'm doing this, I'm in I don't give a fuck mode, whatever it is that you want. But you want to be relaxed completely everywhere in your body. And then when I do this, I'm completely ready to go. I'm completely ready to take on the week or this task or whatever, especially if it's something you really don't want to do, you've been procrastinating on. Drop into that space, do that, open your eyes and be like, okay, I'm here. I've anchored my brain into being in a relaxed, calm state when I am doing this. So it's like that. Hold on, I have something in my eye. So anyway, drop your questions. I'm doing so, I guess. Mindfulness and meditation. I love that, Avian. That's what it's about. So drop your questions about mental health, relationships. If you have a goal or something that you are wanting, it's like, this is the week I'm going to take momentum towards that. Put it in the comments. Really, anytime you put it out there, that's why accountability buddies work so well. That's why therapists and coaches, a good one, works well, because you are putting what you're going to do out there. So it gives you some type of accountability. Tai Chi is great too. I'm more of a yoga person, but I love Tai Chi. Tai Chi is like moving the energy. It really, anytime you're moving energy in any type of way, yoga, dance, whatever, however you like to move your body, walking. Last week, we went over like walking meditation and how regulating that could be to the nervous system and how good it is for your mind, body, energy. So whatever you're doing to regulate yourself, I love it. Excuse me. Okay. So let me know what questions you have, what came up for you this week. And also, if you have any wins that you want to celebrate, please let me know. I want to hear about those too. It's really important for us to celebrate our wins. Please let me know. I always forget to do that. Okay, yes, I love a good walk too. Walking is so important on so many levels to connect with nature, to regulate your nervous system. It's great exercise, all of the things. Please walk whenever you can. And if you want to listen to a good book, even better. You can listen to Letting Go. I always recommend that one, or any of the other books I recommend, or anything that's just a Neville Goddard book. I always like Fresh. I walk miles every day. Nice, Fresh. That is what it's about. Also, hello, Fresh. Hello to everyone. So again, if you have any intentions for the week, anything that you're like, okay, I'm doing this this week. What can we do to support you? Even just saying it out loud and being like, hell yeah, let's do this. Even if it's just like a perspective shift, like, you know what? I get in these negative patterns of thinking everyone sucks, or that I suck, or that I'm not good enough. And now I'm going to shift to this. I'm just going to, even if it's just a little shift, I'm going to assume that people are trustworthy. I'm going to assume that I'm worth it, and that I'm actually really talented, and that I could get this done, and that it's easy. It's easier than I think to do the thing that I wanted to do. And even if it's a little hard, you know, when things are hard, guys, it's okay to be uncomfortable. I want you to be uncomfortable, because when we are uncomfortable, we literally create new neural pathways in our brain. Our amygdala is regulated. Your amygdala is your fight or flight type of response, but it gets regulated by the prefrontal cortex. And your prefrontal cortex is like, oh no, we got this. And it actually helps you, because you're connecting more neural pathways in your brain. Your brain actually grows. So you mentally and emotionally mature. It's really good for you to get out of your comfort zone. And if you don't believe me, you know those people that have never gotten out of their comfort zone. They're not people you want to be like, right? They're annoying, they're enabled, they're takers, they're just energy vampires. But when you are someone that's out of your comfort zone, you are for real confident. I'm not talking about arrogant, but you just shine and radiate in this different way, and you have a lot more to offer the world. And people know that. They're like, wow, this is a valuable person that I could learn from, or that I admire. And so I am so for you guys getting out of your comfort zone. And here, or anytime you watch my content or anything, well, especially if you work one-on-one with me or you take my courses, I am creating a safe space for you to do that, okay? And even if you're just coming across my content, know that even on an energetic level, I'm creating a safe space for you. I want the best for you. I want to see you win. So please don't ever feel afraid to get out of your comfort zone. If you're seeing this for that reason, to know that everything beautiful and everything that you want out of your life is outside of your comfort zone. And then your world expands. And then that thing that was uncomfortable, you're like, oh my God, remember when I used to think that was so scary or so uncomfortable, or it was a hell no thing. Now it's like part of my life, or now it's like, I don't give it all of this fearful energy, so it's not controlling me. Wow, that feels really good to be expanded in this way, and to have my life feel so fulfilling, and to be empowered in this way. It really is empowering when you move out of your comfort zone in that way. So, what ways are you moving out of your comfort zone today and this week? Well, let me know. Let's see. Avian. I think the main reason my mental health has gotten worse is mainly because of the heat of the weather. Does that not vibe with you? And can we change that? Okay, because some people really, okay, so the seasonal affective disorder is a real thing. And a lot of people have it in the winter when it's cold. I love the winter. I love when the days get shorter. I'm weird like that. But I mean, I love it all. I love all the different seasons. But can you reframe that, Avian? So it's not like this outside thing has control over you, because that is what we are always looking to refine. It's like we have these false beliefs that we assume are real, that something outside of me is controlling me. Something outside of me gets to control my mood, my destiny, my whatever it is, your health, wealth, relationships, or career. So can you take your power back and say, no matter how hot it is, I get to have a good day and week. No matter what's going on, no matter how that person reacts, I get to have a good life. I get to have a good day. And I'm not letting anything outside of me manipulate or control my reactions or if my day or mood or mental health is going to be good or bad. Can you start to tweak that a little bit so you're bringing the power back to you? And it's not like whatever's outside of me is controlling everything. And it also gets us out of that victims. But I'm not calling you a victim or saying that you are, but it can lean into that when we're thinking that things outside of us completely control any part of us. Um, Linda, I would like to step into my comfort zone once in a while. I haven't been in my comfort zone for years. What do you mean by that, Linda? Um, Avian, I live in Phoenix, Arizona. Too much heat. Yeah, I know it's hot there, especially right now. All up in the desert. Arizona is beautiful though. David Thompson, for the one surrounded by narcissists, it may not be that easy. David, I agree that, if you're surrounded by narcissists, any type of toxic people, it can be more challenging to feel a sense of peace, but you are the main character in your life and you still get to decide how things affect your energy. So can you remove yourself from those people? Can you set boundaries? Narcissists don't like boundaries. So yes, they're going to kick and scream at first, but it's your life and it's your energy and you get to establish boundaries. And maybe because everyone's a teacher, everyone in your life comes into your life for a reason or a season, but they're all there to teach you something. So if you're surrounded by narcissists, because narcissists give you the opportunity to have boundaries and empower yourself and have self-respect and get out of this scarcity desperation state that you may or may not know that you're in. So if you're surrounded by them, what is life trying to teach you about yourself? Do you need to have better boundaries? Do you need to increase your self-worth? Do you get to really remove a lot of scarcity thinking about relationships and how they work? Because a lot of times we think that we have to give and give and give to just get a little bit of love or a little bit of attention or a little bit of safety. That's what narcissists do. That's the dynamic that's going back and forth. Or you just give and give and give and it's never enough. So what's up with that, David? And I'm saying this as someone that used to be surrounded by narcissists. I know. So there's a lot to look at there. But when you do, I promise it'll get a lot easier. Linda, I've worked through my phobias, but I have to be diligent, whether I have any whether I have anywhere to go or not. I have I have got to drive at least once a week, even if it's only around the block. I used to be sad. Winter was rough in Virginia. Now it's summer here in Arizona. Those are the seasons that I don't do well. Okay. So you got through your phobias, used to be diligent. Um, so it sounds like, Linda, like the phobias still have some type of control over you because you're saying if I'm reading this correctly, like you still have to like you're still on guard about the phobias. We want to get to a place where they don't even bother us. It's just like neutral. It's like the color beige. It does nothing, right? So it sounds like you're on your way, but if they're still controlling you, there's just still some more work to do. And phobias are on the anxiety spectrum. So where are you a little anxious? And where can you release some of that? Where can you trust? Where can you be relaxed? Where can you be at peace? Avian, I hate the summer. I used to too. Now I'm warming up to it. like a lot more. And with all the seasons, I used to just be like winter, fall girl, but now I'm learning to love all of them in different ways. Linda, I pretty much where I don't want to be and can't leave yet. I'd make the best of it for what it's worth. I'm in the desert and want to go back to having my gardens and my chickens and grass and trees, but I'm taking care of my native. Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Yeah, that's tough. And if you want to, I mean, I mean, I can't like read into that, but I really am a proponent of not completely abandoning your life for someone else, even if it's your 93-year-old mother and if it's making you miserable. Like, we have to live our lives for us, and like everyone does. So, and I don't know the whole story, and I don't know the whole story, but I would just be careful about completely abandoning yourself for someone else for any situation. And I know with stuff like family, it's like, oh, it's your family. You have to do. No, that doesn't mean you self-sacrifice to the degree where you're miserable. We don't want any of that. We still want to be in a place where we're the main character in our life. And when we are the main character in our life and we're taking care of ourselves, everything falls into place. Like, if you made the decision, okay, I want to be back on the farm with my chickens and everything. I don't know, could your mom move in with you? Something could shift. And I've worked with a lot of people that have that dynamic. Even Peter would talk about that a lot when he's here. Like, okay, I have my mom, and she was also narcissistic, right? And how do I balance this? Because I have this guilt of like this person's family, so I must do this and I must sacrifice everything. And you don't. I know that sounds so counterintuitive, but you don't. You don't have to do that. So just something to think about. I'm just putting it out there. I got my degree from Dominican University. I have a master's of science in psychology. Marble, I have bipolar type 2. The environment and the people around me affect my mood so much. Okay. So, yeah, with, try to pull it up here too. Um, yeah, here we go. So, with that, and like also, we want to make sure that you're working with someone with any type of diagnosis like this, because yes, when you are, especially in the nascent stages of dealing with and healing from things like this, everything can affect your mood. It's like it feels like everything is so sensitive to the touch, but emotionally and even physically sometimes too. But you can, if you're really committed to it and you really want to, you can reprogram your brain to not to desensitize yourself. But like, it's not even desensitizing yourself, it's just recalibrating to have a normal sense of sensitivity. And so when I've worked with clients with this, it's like sometimes they're on meds first, and then we're working together and I'm working with the psychiatrist, and they're like weaning themselves off of that. Everyone's so different, actually. Everyone is so different. But if you are really committed to your mental health and not wanting to be so affected by everything around you, you can. I promise you that. But I would definitely get a few practitioners to work with. Linda, I'm learning to say no. I said no to somebody yesterday. Yes, good job, Linda. That's great. Learning to say no is difficult, especially if you're a caretaker, if you're empathic, if you've been codependent and like raised to be codependent, like put everyone's needs before your own, and that's your only value. And that's the only way you could be safe is by caring for everyone else and putting yourself last. Learning to say no and have boundaries is very difficult. And remember, no is a complete sentence. You don't have to go into jade after that, justify, argue, defend, explain, or even engage any further than that. So that's a big deal, Linda. That's something to celebrate. Like, I said no to something that didn't serve you or that you didn't want to do. Good job. I have not let myself fall back into the comfort. So I think what you mean, Linda, because when I'm talking about comfort zone, it's like staying stagnant. I think that what you mean is like being at peace and like being able to relax and being able to have your nervous system regulated. We need that. Okay, we all need that. And for some of you anxious types and overperformers, that is being outside of your comfort zone, is relaxing and having a day where you watch a movie or an evening where you're just relaxing. It's different for everyone. Everyone's growing edge is different, or opportunity for growth is different. So, Linda, what I think you're talking about, like you haven't been able to fall back into your comfort, is that you get to be relaxed. You need to put yourself first, is what I'm hearing. Again, being the main character in your life and putting your needs before everyone else's, including your 93-year-old mother. I know that might sound crazy, but it's true. And when you do that, your health, wealth, relationships, career, even your connection with whatever you call your higher power, God, whatever it is, will get better. It will get better. That's how we thrive as humans. Otherwise, we're in survival mode and we're just trying to get by. So there's something to think about and start to integrate. And Linda, you wouldn't have brought that up and you wouldn't be here if you weren't ready to hear that and ready to take steps towards that. So that's excellent news. "7 years have I knew then what I knew now before I do." You know what? It's like right now is the perfect time. Right now is the perfect time. And regret is a pointless emotion, and regret is a way for the inner critic to beat you up. Like maybe you're finally starting to have some insight, some empowerment around, oh yeah, I can make this shift. And here comes your inner critic. Well, why didn't you figure this out? Blah, blah, blah. Shut up, inner critic. You're not doing anything productive, inner critic. Notice what the inner critic is doing, is trying to keep you small and safe, because the inner critic really only knows the past. And so the inner critic wants to beat you up, wants to keep you small, wants to keep you in this small way of thinking so you're not growing or evolving. So just notice what the inner critic is. I often suggest to name the inner critic and name it something like a name that you really don't like, and imagine it looking some way that's not attractive to you and being like, okay, you know, whatever your inner critic is. Like mine's like Loretta. That's one of my inner critics. I'm like, you're just being annoying or ghetto or whatever you're being right now. And that's not me. And that's not doing anything positive, right? So I'm not going to listen to you. I'm learning this now. And I'm so happy that I'm learning this now. I'm so happy that I'm integrating this now. So can you tell yourself that, Linda? Hi, Angela. Marvel Dreamer. I lost myself in my thoughts and intellectual interests, so much so that it has become an addiction. Yeah, I talk about this almost every time. You can be addicted to thought patterns. They could be thought patterns of judgment towards you or others or both. They could be thought patterns of like obsessions about people. And they could also be thought patterns like this, of like intellectualizing everything and just staying. It's like almost a form of procrastination. I don't know exactly how it's showing up for you, but a lot of times when people describe this, like the intellectual interest, that they're just perseverating and perseverating. So they're not really ever doing anything. So it's immobilizing you from taking action, right? So can you break out of this by just taking one little action step? Setting a timer, and then for saying, for these 2 minutes, I'm going to do something that I'm taking action towards this. And you might have to get yourself up. You might start to have aches in your pain, in your back, or you have you get nauseous. I've literally had clients where that happens to them when they do this, where they break out of this because the nervous system is like, no, I only want to stay stuck in fear and paralysis, because your nervous system doesn't know, like we're connecting the prefrontal cortex and this amygdala, like fight or flight state, right? So it's like, no, we're supposed to stay in place. We've done this the whole time. We don't know anything else. So you just have to be like, nope. I hear you, nausea. We're going to keep going. I hear you, back pain. And that might not even happen, but you're definitely going to be uncomfortable. But can you this week, Marble Dreamer, take just little baby step towards what it is that's just been perseverating in your mind? Linda, unfortunately, I'm at a point now, I just have to write it out. After several years, I lost all the savings, lost my home, my family. Okay. Sometimes I relax, but the trick is relaxed and not feeling. Yeah. because that's not really relaxed. If you're feeling guilty for it, then that's not relaxed. So, Linda, what I'm hearing, and like, by the way, when you make the decision to shift and not completely give all of your energy and your life and everyone for someone else, everything can shift. Like I just said, your health, wealth, relationships, career, they could all have an upswing. And you'll think it's a miracle. You'll call it a miracle. But because you have decided to not energetically give all of your resources away, and in terms of money and energy and emotional, it's never too late. You're on this planet still. It's never too late. Okay. And, if your mom's 93, you might live till 93. So it's never too late. At any moment and at every moment, every time your heart beats, you are a new person. So you can decide right now, okay, I don't just give everything away. And maybe, yeah, you had to have that experience where like you lost everything, your family, your home, savings, and everything. And it's like, okay, I don't want to replay that movie anymore. Right? It's like going on your couch and being like, I freaking hate this movie. Let's watch it again. I fucking hate that movie. Let's watch it for the 93rd time. No. So you can decide that you're going to play a new movie, the one where there's abundance, one where there's abundance of health and prosperity and everything. And everyone benefits from that. So you're not suffering to help your 93-year-old mom or anyone else, because even if it wasn't your 93-year-old mom, it would be someone else, because that is what the caretaking codependent addiction, and it really is an addiction, is about. They have a 12-step program for this called Al-Anon, where they talk about like we don't have to always put everyone ahead of ourselves. And there is a primitive part of your brain that is going to freak out and be like, no, we have to put everyone, that's all we know because I've been taught this since I was a child and I won't survive, or I'll be in danger if I don't put everyone else's needs before mine. You get to tell that person it's 2026 and that isn't true anymore. Maybe at one point it was true. I'm not saying that it wasn't, but it's not true anymore. Now you get to be safe when you put yourself first. And in fact, if you don't put yourself first, then you're in a position where you can lose everything, even if like temporarily. You can get it back. Once you bring your power back and start putting yourself first, I promise you can get it back. I've helped a lot of people do that are like, oh my God, I lost everything, my business, blah, blah, blah. It's all. And then as soon as they make that shift, it's like, oh, all these clients came out of nowhere. God, my health feels so much better. I feel lighter. I'm just like losing weight for no reason. It is that shift. I promise you it is. When we have that heaviness of constantly draining our energy, it's too much. And life will keep showing you, hey, do you want to keep losing things, or do you want to focus back on yourself? And when we do that, we have so much more to offer the world. So I'm going to keep encouraging you, Linda. Bob, you have nothing to feel guilty about. Exactly. We have to put ourselves first. But really, when we have that codependent, like people pleasing thing that is really an addiction, you feel like so guilty for it. And another layer to it is you could get like drunk off the guilt because you're so, used to that it's like, okay, I feel safe and validated, and like my caretakers won't leave me because I feel guilty and I feel small and everything, because you were taught to associate that with love, which sounds weird and counterintuitive, but it's like, if I sacrifice myself and I feel guilty and I'm just never relaxed, then my caretakers love me. You learn that at some point, that's the only way you could get love. So now in life, your brain is still unconsciously associating with safety and love. So we just get to uninstall that program. We get to take that out, uninstall that app, whatever like analogy, like you have an app in the background that's super old, that's draining your energy. You don't need it anymore. If you're, running on Windows 98, it's glitching. It's taking up too much energy. Windows 98 worked well in 98. It doesn't work well now. It's like, what the fuck are you doing here? This is not the vibe. Like, there are way better ways to function in life. And so that is what your nervous system, and I also think your spirit and your soul is asking you to do. And I know that you know that on some level, consciously or unconsciously or both, but it gets to really be in the forefront of your consciousness. And it'll take, I'm not saying like, oh yeah, go ahead and do that. Like, it takes courage, but I think that you are hearing it now because you're ready to hear at least parts of this. Linda, I had a heat stroke and was unconscious for I don't know how many hours, and my mother yelled at me because I didn't get up and take care of her. Yeah. See? How did I know? This is so much codependent abuse. Like you're being abused by someone that that you're supposed to be caretaking. No. Why aren't you getting any of the love and respect, Linda? And this is a really common dynamic with toxic people and then the codependent side of things. It's like, I'm going to keep giving and giving, hoping that you will respect and understand how important and everything. No, you can be having heat stroke, which is terrible. If you've had it before, you know, like you need help, you need a lot of things. And then they're just kicking you because you're not giving to them. But we get to have better boundaries, Linda. Oh, so you mean like the perfectionist too is always on me to be perfect and I can't be? I'm actually finally full on. I'm actually finally full on into a project. I'm trying to get started. So you get to start your project, and I hope this project is for you. Can you do something that is just for you, Linda, that has nothing to do with your, it sounds like abusive mother? Can you just do something for you? You know, and it also someone that has the energy to yell at you, I think that maybe they're more fine on they could probably take care of themselves. I don't know. I'm just rooting for you right now, Linda. And I think there's an opportunity to have a lot more boundaries and take care of yourself first. Can you commit to that? We're here for you, Linda, and we're sending you all kinds of self-care energy because you're ready to hear this. Hi, Big Pontiac. How are you? Greetings. Glad to see you healing again. Nice to see you, Big Pontiac. Linda, at any moment, I could actually get my life back, but you know what that means. I was trained well. Apparently, my mother, I broke away from it. It took years. I had drive. It took years. I had to drive 2,000 miles to get away. I will be me again soon. I'm just in there being protected right now. What are you being protected from? I think it's time to break away from this abusive dynamic. Getting this project I'm working on is for me. Great. And it makes me feel good to work on this, not for anyone. Good. I love that, Linda. That's what I'm talking about. Danny, we are talking about mental health, your healing journey, questions about mental health, relationships, toxic personalities, anything like that. Yes, the app needs an update. Or we could just uninstall that app, right? Marble Dreamer, yes, like analysis paralysis, but I feel I can never be satisfied enough. Loneliness also hits painfully. Sometimes I feel I must live a nearly perfect environment, even if it's so expensive. Okay, that's all of that you just said, Marble Dreamer, that's all procrastination and paralysis. Like, so the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, that's just all under the freeze. Really, let me see, fight, flight, you know, it's a little bit of flight, but it's really like freeze. And so if you just notice what it is, instead of, arguing for your limitations. So when you're arguing for your limitations, it's like, I can never be satisfied. It needs to be perfect. Perfect doesn't fucking exist. And if something is perfect, it's stale and moldy and it sucks. It's like, we have to always be evolving. We are living, breathing organisms. Perfection is like some stale, like frozen thing. It doesn't really mean anything. There's no such thing as perfect. We're always evolving at any time. You know, I couldn't, and for like, I've always wanted to live stream. I'll take me as an example. And am I great at it? No. Like, do I have a ton of filler words all the time? Yeah. Like, you know, and I don't care. Like, you just have to keep doing things and, you know, you get better and better at them. It's just like anything else. When you see a child or a baby that's turning into a toddler and they start walking for the first time. I mean, are they running when they no? You know, like, are you asking a toddler to run a marathon? No, because they're just learning to use their legs. There's no such thing as perfect. We have to evolve. And so, Marble Dreamer, those are all things that your inner critic is telling you to keep you stuck, to keep you paralyzed in that way. So we have to unthaw, and we have to decide little by little to take action. And this thing about, I don't even believe in anything being expensive. I think being expensive is like a limiting belief. Like, something that's expensive to you is not expensive to someone else, or it's not worth it to some. So when I hear oh, it's so expensive, that's just another way for your inner critic to keep you stuck and be like, oh yeah, you can't afford. So it's like, here we are again with the scarcity or lack, like you don't have enough of something. All of this that you just said is like the paralysis. It's like, I'm not enough. Yes, you are. You're enough right now. And you're hearing this because you're ready to hear it and you're ready to fucking go. I don't care. Like, I don't care if it's sloppy. I don't care like what it looks like. Just do something related to what you want to do. Get yourself unfrozen. You can do this. And it's just really that simple. It's like making that decision that I'm going to take contrary action. Even if it's just for 5 minutes a day, I'm going to take contrary action. You can do this. I believe in you. Okay, yeah, mental health and relationships are directly correlated with each other. There's all kinds of scientific proof, and like, how do you not know this from being a human? I don't know, but the quality of your relationships directly affects the quality of every other area of your life, your health, wealth, relationships, career. I really think that Esther Perel, she's a psychologist, does a great job explaining how relationships directly affect every other part of your life. If you look up Esther Perel and her TED Talks, I think she's done the best TED Talks. It's like everyone else dropped the mic. Like, her TED Talks are so good and clever and thought provoking. So yeah, there's that. Linda, she finally pushed too hard, and now I don't care if she likes me or not. She can't love. Yeah, it sounds like she's a toxic person. And that's I'm so glad you realized this, because narcissists and sociopaths, it's like they refuse to experience real love. Like, they don't really like intimacy. It's too threatening for them. So they'd rather be mean and project all of their hate. They're just, she's 93. It's accumulated a lot. So I'm over that. So she can't hurt me anymore. Bravo. We love that. Sometimes we have to get to that rock bottom point with these motherfuckers and be like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. You finally pushed me over the edge. And it's so different for everyone. Like, sometimes I have clients that, and I'll tell them, I'm like, listen, these people are capable of things that you don't even want to imagine. And sometimes my clients won't believe me and they have to learn the hard way, and that's fine. I'm still there holding space for them and supporting their journey. And they'll be like, I cannot believe that. Like, I would never do that to anyone. I can't believe they did that to me. And I've known them for X amount of years. They're my mom. They're my dad. We've been married. That's the mother of my blah, blah, blah. No, they will. So I'm so glad that you got to that point. This is the beginning of everything for you, Linda. When we hit that rock bottom moment and make that decision that we're not going to be treated like this anymore, this is where life really gets good. Thank you, Bob. I saw that. Thank you. Let's see. Distance from me, and it is for my pet rats, because rats are for me. And I'm working on a big build. I'm doing it. Saying no to someone yesterday is a big, yeah. I didn't realize just how bad she was growing up until I came back. I know, with toxic parents, a lot of times I hear this a lot. It's a very common thing. It's kind of like, oh, I didn't know it was that bad. Or I'll be talking to a client and I'm like, I think one of your parents or both of them have some narcissistic tendencies. No. Oh, they were fine. And then we start digging into it and they're like, fuck, yeah, I didn't even realize, right? First of all, because the narcissist or toxic person doesn't want you to know that. They don't want you, so they'll brainwash you. It's everyone else. they're talking about me. Everyone else's parents are like this. I mean, they'll do all of their brainwashing in whatever way they can. So sometimes we distance ourselves and we form a somewhat of some type of self-sovereignty, and we look back and we're like, oh my God, you are so abusive and toxic. So I'm glad that you had that experience and realized that yeah, this person actually is toxic, and these are the effects that had on me. She holds live like life like a weapon, can't hurt me. Yeah. Narcissists weaponize everything. It's really sad. And it's really sad. And it's something that you get to grieve. And I mean, you get to because it's there and it's waiting to be released, but you get to grieve the parent that you never have. And you get to grieve the fact that your parent does not want the best for you, that they feel better temporarily. They have a monicum of temporary relief when they make you feel like shit, because there's this constant need to offload the terrible ways they feel about themselves onto other people, typically the people that are closest to them. So when you realize that, yeah, my own mother or father or whomever in your life, especially in your immediate family, is doing this and doesn't give a fuck about me, really, it's something for you to grieve, that you didn't get the parent that you want, and that you can still get, you could get it from your higher power, you can get it from other places, but it is something to acknowledge and grieve and release in whatever way that is healthiest for you. That's when I found out that other people didn't go through what I did. You think it's normal. Yeah, I'm glad that you're realizing that. You're on your healing journey, Linda. I'm proud of you. Marble Dreamer, I think unconsciously suppress my fears and anxiety. Yeah, that's true. That's why it's one of the 4 F's: fight, fight, freeze, or fawn, because we're suppressing a fear. So we have to release it. And then when you do, it's actually a really beautiful thing, because you realize that you made this huge thing, this big, and it's actually just a little tiny like grain of sand. It's like, look at, I made this big thing in my head that my inner critic was trying to hold me back from my greatness, from all of these things that are in my heart to do and be and have. And you had just the courage to do, and it's just a moment, really. It's just a moment in time, and it gets easier and easier. And it's like, what was I afraid of? Like, wow. And to the point where it'll be second nature to continue to express whatever creative endeavors are just in your mind right now. So yes, the fear and anxiety are there, but what do I say about fear, guys? Fear is false evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. So we can decide that I'm not going to give that energy anymore. I'm not going to give this fear that I have so much fucking power. You're the only one that's giving it power. Because the things that are in your head that you want to do, other people are doing them. And I bet they're not as smart or as talented as you. They just don't have they might even have a little bit of entitlement and think that they're amazing, right? And let that be an inspiration to you to move past your fear of this false evidence appearing real that you're making so big, in your head. And I actually heard somewhere that, like, the parable of David and Goliath, that's really what it's about. So you're David, right? And Goliath is actually representative of your fear. And we make it this big thing, and it's so and it's so scary, and there's no way that it's this giant thing that we could never overcome. And then what happens in the story of David and Goliath? He like barely does anything, and Goliath, gets cooked, right? Because that is what happens when you decide to face your fears. And it's like, okay, another Goliath could come, and I'm just kind of like, don't care, right? So that's what it is. So we're going to have that with this Marble Dreamer. Linda, I don't understand why other teens would miss a parent. For some reason, my parent was gone for a while, I thought being home alone was the greatest thing in the world because your parent was unstable. I mean, a lot of people have nice parents that they have a good relationship with, so you would miss someone. But if you don't, like when you have a parent that is narcissistic or toxic or any of the cluster B type of things or just anything, your nervous system as a child is completely dysregulated. You are afraid. You are in this unstable environment. So when that sense or when that stimulus of the chaos and the unpredictability and the whatever goes away, you feel relieved. Yeah, I know that feeling. I would always wish my parents would get a divorce. I'm like, oh my God, that'd be so awesome. I have to deal with my mom because she's like so scary and things were always unstable. So I feel you. I get it, Linda. Chris, interesting conversations, very hard to deal with. Lots going on behind that mind of that independent. It takes years to fix. It can, but like, here's the thing I say, and I really believe this, and this is one of the reasons that I started my channel after helping people, because I also have a background in neuroscience. So in my private practice, I'm like, you can fix this quickly. This is why I don't practice traditional therapy. I have all of that knowledge and background, but I also integrate coaching and all of these other things because you can rewire your brain and you could regulate your nervous system so much faster than the pharmaceutical or the insurance industry wants you to think, because they can make more money if they're like, oh, it's this long process, and you buy into the fact that it's this long fucking process when it's not. I promise you that it's not. It does not have to be. We all move at our own pace, and we all, even this thing about, and I'm very spiritual. I feel very connected to my higher power and God, with God's timing. God's timing is now. When the desire is in your heart, you're meant to have it now. Okay. So this thing about God's timing is something that I feel like unconsciously is like holding you back, or, because we think we have to earn it and wait and suffer and all of these things. So it can take as long as it needs to take for you to feel safe and regulated. And I feel like if you're working with someone who really cares and knows what they're doing, they can get you there quickly. It matches your willingness. I'm telling you, I've done this for so long. And when someone is ready, when they are ready to go, it happens fast. Now I have people that come in my private practice and they're like, oh yeah, I didn't really work on anything this week, and they don't want to buy into it. And I'm like, you're still into your sadness. You're still into being a victim in the way, like you still, like if you want to think it takes a long time, but like, I'm the only one in the world that can't be fixed, well, then that's your story. If you want to work on changing your story, then I can help you. But if you're like, nope, I'm beyond, okay, then you're beyond repair. And then, you are still getting something out of whatever it is. And it could be like, sometimes I've seen people who have like really bad ailments from not dealing with their mental health issues. And they're like, oh yeah, no, this is just beyond, because you want it to be. And I know when you have a mental, or like a physical, like vertigo, or it could be like cancer or like anything like that, or even just like I have a slow metabolism, I've been fat forever, that all of those things can change when you want them to. I promise you that. So yeah, it's not about, it doesn't have to take that long. I promise you that. It does not have to take that long. Linda, I was the same way, but yes, get that divorce. You guys. Linda, I'll tell you what, though, without the parents around, I was strong. I taught myself how to do a lot. Other people, when I was younger, had no idea. Other people my age. Yeah. So that's called a parentified child. When at a young age, you know how to do things. And like, that's just like survival, right? Because your parents abandoned you, or they were chaotic or whatever. So when we grow up in chaotic homes, a lot of us become parentified children. And what that means is we become adults at an inappropriate age, at 12 or whatever it is, because we have to. We learn survival skills. We learn how to be an adult when we should be being a kid. And when I work with people like this, the first thing I'm like, go back and talk to your inner children. Ask that 12-year-old who was already an adult doing adult responsibilities and things, what do they want to do? Maybe they want to go play. Maybe they want to, I don't know, like go to the mall with their friends. What do they actually want to do? What does the 8-year-old want to do? Maybe they want to make cookies and hang out and watch movies. What do they want to do to feel like a kid and feel safe and secure? Go back and reparent those different ages. Pull out some pictures of you at those ages if you have them, and really look at yourself and be like, I'm so sorry you didn't get what you needed at the time. What do you need now? What do you need me to hear? What do you need? How do you need a hug? What would you like to do? And you, in your mind, you could go get ice cream with them, or you could take them to the park, or just let them know that they're free to be a child now. So, and it really helps in your adult life because you're not like, oh my God, I'm responsible for everyone. And a lot of that anxiety and procrastination and getting in toxic relationships just dissipates because you talk to your inner children and you reparented your inner children. That's why I love inner child work. Yeah, normal, when we grow up in safe environments, we don't need to become adults right away. Yeah, like walking to the desert by yourself at 9 years old isn't healthy. So can you go back and reparent the 9-year-old and give her the safety and love and protection that she needs? And what does a 9-year-old wanna do? Like, take her to the movies and the air conditioner and buy her some popcorn. Like, you could just do these things in your mind or actually go to the movies. Reparent yourself in ways that feel good. Chris, hello. The perfect time, another great lie. Yeah, there's no perfect time. The perfect time is right now. It's the only thing that exists. The past doesn't exist. The future doesn't exist. All that exists is right now. That's the only perfect time. So do it now. You're welcome, Uncle Philly. Dream, Marble Dreamer. Thank you so much. Do these freezing responses have a common cause like trauma, unwanted memories, shyness? Yeah, but like I just said before, it's all coming from a fear type of thing. But when you take momentum towards it, it'll come up. It'll be like, oh, I'm afraid that I'm not worthy. I'm afraid of other people's judgment. And then you can keep going. So I just dream, Marble Dreamer, I don't want you to get stuck in that paralysis of overthinking. Fuck overthinking. You've been overthinking too much right now. Even if we were like, if I was working with you in my private practice, I'd be like, no more thinking. Get out of your mind and into your body because you're right up here and you're probably dissociated from your body. Drop into your body and do the damn thing. Okay. You can work with someone and where it comes from and all that stuff, but don't let it keep you stuck. All you know is that there's fear and anxiety there. Yeah, it probably comes from trauma. We're not paying attention to that now because as you do the thing, that trauma and that fear will just naturally be released. It will be an organic byproduct. So all you have to do right now is do the thing and have the courage to do that. And I promise you, it'll just like with Goliath, it'll just all come crumbling down so much faster than you think. Like you thought it was this big bad monster and it's like, okay, that was nothing. Chris, hello. Negative and familiar emotions are a source of great comfort to many people. Yeah, people get addicted to all kinds of emotions, including negative ones. I mean, people are really like being addicted to like that victim thing is a real addiction. Linda Whittaker, alone, I am strong. Around my mom, not so much. 63 years of her telling me I can't. Yeah. Yeah, I do know. Yeah, I do know I know how to do a lot. Yes. And just detaching from that, when she's talking shit to you, she's talking about herself. That's the one thing we have to realize. Narcissistic people and all those toxic type of personalities, when they're talking shit about, they are revealing to you all their insecurities. And they're making it sound like, oh, you're incapable. That's how they feel about themselves. And they're most triggered by you because they know that you're the most capable. They always go after the people that are the most capable and the people that they want to be most like. So think about that and keep going. Um, but the real part to me was the real part to me, safety was when, yeah, it's counterintuitive. It's like the person, because when you're a child, you associate your caretakers with safety. And so with these toxic parents, narcissistic, sociopathic, borderline parents that refuse to work on themselves and just get more and more chaotic, you're like, okay, these caretakers are supposed to keep me safe or unsafe. And so you start to associate like love with chaos, and until you deprogram it and learn what's going on. But yeah, for a while it's very confusing and counterintuitive that the thing that you're supposed to associate with safety is very unsafe. But you get to realize that your safety comes from within. Like everything, the kingdom is within. um, Chris, hello. Reparenting is so powerful. Being compassionate towards yourself while also taking responsibility for, yes, it really is. Reparenting yourself, inner child work is so powerful. You don't want to side. You don't want the side I did. Teach a girl. Did it in public. Yeah, this is all parentified child stuff, Linda. So work on your inner child, take care of your inner children, bring your attention back to yourself and your needs, and making yourself the main character of your life. And that will make everything so much better. I know it could be counterintuitive. I know it can feel unsafe, but you got this. When you start to do that, the energy around you shifts. And it's the same thing with I feel like in my private practice this week, it's been a lot of like setting boundaries with these toxic people who have just trampled and trampled. And it's like you're afraid to. And it's like, no, once you do that, everything shifts. Then they stop asking you for things. Then they'll kick and scream a little bit at first, maybe, or they'll keep going a little bit and they're like, oh shit, she really means it. She's really not caving into my whatever. He's really not gonna continue the pattern that we've had of enabling me or getting in the drama. Martin Love, what's a common misconception people have about your job that annoys you? I don't probably that I'm always analyzing them. I'm like, and it's like such a, I don't know, I hate when I'm out to dinner with people like, oh, you analyzing me? Like, I just feel like I don't know, like my IQ goes down when you're saying that. Like, first of all, bitch, we're always analyzing everything in our environment. But am I sitting there doing a therapy session in my mind? Like, it just points to like insecurity. I don't know. I'm like, no, I'm not. Can we have a normal conversation, please? Like, no, I'm not analyzing you. But Um, and I think another misconception is that I'm just like listening when, I mean, first of all, most people don't know how the fuck to listen. So it really like learning to actually listen. And I've worked with therapists and psychologists, and I'm like, bitch, do you hear what I said? Like, you're not listening to me. And so what I mean by that is like, I think some people just think that we're just sitting there, like not doing anything. But if you're actually listening, and my clients are always so impressed. They're like, "How do you remember that?" Because I remember everything. I remember every family member, the birthdays, everything. So, that like just the fact that I'm like actively listening and I'm putting all the pieces together in the background while you're talking. I'm not just sitting there like, a lot of people say it's like couching where you're just like sitting on a couch, and no, it's not that. Um, so yeah, good question, Martin. Anyone else have any questions related to mental health, relationships? And also, do you have any wins to celebrate for this past week? Anything that you're really happy about that's like, yeah, I did that thing, I had that perspective shift? And is there anything that you are going to declare that you're going to do, even if it's like a little behavior modification, even if it's doing that pause, that that pause that I took, like where you're just taking a little bit of contrary action and you're making that positive pattern disruption, where it's like, I'm not going to immediately have that reaction. I'm going to do this instead. Anything like that. Tell me what your intentions are for the week. Um, when you're having a tough day, Martin Love is asking, do you prefer space or process with someone well, it's funny that you say process with some or to process or someone or someone to distract you. Um, I never really like getting distracted, but it depends. It depends on it. I do think it's important to do, just as everyone, as a human, I do think it's important to do all three, even if you are so extroverted people, which I'm not, but extroverted people will first want to process with someone. And sometimes extroverted people that don't have any self-awareness or don't want to work on themselves will use like a numbing out or a distraction type of thing, usually with other people. And when you're around these type of people, they're very draining, and they usually go for introverts or empathic people and then just drain the shit out of them. So stay away from those people. But and then if you're more introverted, you want to be by yourself and then eventually process with someone, or you'll be by yourself and then you'll journal. But whatever it is you want to process, it's just like when you eat food and you digest it. We want to do that with anything else. We want to have a healthy, energetic, emotional, and mental metabolism as well, not just a physical one. They all go together too. Sometimes when you have like bad stomach pain, or it's like, I can't digest this, or I feel nauseous or anything, there's something probably in your life that you're having trouble digesting or moving past, or that's hard to swallow type of thing. It's hard to really accept that, So all these things go together. Your mind, body, everything's interconnected. So we really want to do the internal work, and then it makes the external environment, they go together. It makes them have a good synergy. Linda says, yeah, being an empath is absolutely draining. It shouldn't be. So when you're an empath and you don't have boundaries, it's very draining because you're very open. You're feeling everyone's everything. And then people that are energy vampires drain you. They can sense that you're that way, and they can drain you. So when you're an empath, or anyone that's generous, or you're a caretaker, or you have some codependent issues that you're working through, like people pleasing or overly giving or putting your needs last all the time, these energy vampires and narcissists pick right up on that, and then they'll drain the shit out of you. So your job is to have boundaries around that, energetic boundaries. You could in meditation, you do like a thing where you put like a gold bubble around your energy, and you do that because it's like gold like reflects and deflects like everything that you don't want, and it's like a filter that only absorbs what you want. But it is your energy. This is your world. This is your video game. You are the main character and the star of your movie. So no one gets to take anything from you, especially your energy, unless you want them to, right? So, and when you have codependent things, or when you're empathic, sometimes we have to learn this the hard way, because you're like getting drained all the time, and you're like, what the fuck? Why am I so giving? And the story is, and trust me, I had this story, I'm so giving, I'm so this, and like people just take advantage and blah, 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 because I didn't have the boundaries. So the boundaries are so important to have. And then you can be empathic, where you can really help people, and you can be inspiring, and you can be just like your mere presence can do that to people, and you're not being drained, right? Like as an empath, I could not live stream or even like make videos. I couldn't even do what I do for a living if I didn't have those boundaries. But it allows me to be like really in tune with my clients and really understand what's going on, sometimes before they even do, and without getting my energy drained. So that is one of the things that we learn when we're empaths, is to not give away our energy like that. Hi, James. Lauren, I worked 8 hours and went to the gym and a sauna. I declare I will stay sober and pure. Nice. I love it. Great job, James. Martin Love. What does emotional safety look like in a relationship? It's called secure attachment in psychology. And so emotional safety is where you can be you and you're not suppressing anything. You're not, and you know that feeling where you're not suppressing anything and you don't have this anxiety like you have to overperform or chase or they're going to leave you, so you don't have any anxious attachment. And you also don't have like, I need my space, I need, like, you don't feel overwhelmed, which is more the avoidant thing. You feel like I could just be with this person. If it's in a romantic relationship, you have your safe couple bubble, but or within a friendship or family, there's still like this safe emotional container where you can show up and be yourself, even parts of yourself that maybe aren't comfortable to show everyone else, because that's real intimacy. So you could have real intimacy in that relationship and they won't abandon you. Maybe some conflict comes up, but you have healthy conflict resolution, which only deepens the connection. It doesn't separate you guys for forever. You know, it eventually deepens the connection. And your nervous system feels very relaxed and at peace when you're in a healthy, safe relationship. And also, there's not these tyrannical, like in a narcissistic relationship where it's these tyrannical rules, like it's my way or the highway, and the rules are always changing depending on someone's mood. No, there's just a very symbiotic relationship and respect and understanding and mutual care for each other. Um, yeah, that is awesome, James. We're rooting for you. But I will also say, Martin, like that emotional safety starts with yourself. A lot of people think that, especially if they're more anxious or avoidant, they're like, okay, if I find the right relationship, then that'll cure me. It doesn't work that way. It'll flare it up more because relationships are a mirror. So whatever you're not facing or looking at, it will show up in your relationship again and again. And avoidant people, they'll break up with someone and then move to the next person and thinking that person will solve it, and the next person and the next person, and they'll loop back to their ex, and it's just like, because they won't do any of the internal work. And the same with the anxious person, they're just desperately clinging to maybe that old relationship, or both of them always have to be in a relationship thinking it's something outside of themselves. But when you do the work to feel so safe and so at peace and you just love being with yourself, then you can really attract a safe relationship. Um, Marble Dreamer, is the freezing response in relationships caused by the same reasons when people, especially romantically, give comments, make prolonged eye contact, and come close to me? I sometimes freeze. Yeah, it can be. It can be a freeze response because you are uncomfortable with intimacy or closeness. So, yeah, that can happen. And it would be worth looking at your relationship with intimacy and closeness and where the fear is. And can you do something every day? Because we're still taking action. We're not staying stuck in our head. Can you do something every day where you show vulnerability? Whether it's, I don't know, making a post on social media, whether it's telling someone else that you love them, or saying like, you know what, I've always wanted to tell someone this. Can I talk to you about it? So can you show up and with someone that you trust and be vulnerable, be intimate with them? But yeah, if you're having a freeze response, you somewhere in your nervous system, you feel unsafe with closeness. And yes, it can come from trauma, but what are we doing to heal that, to uninstall that program and download a new program into our nervous system where closeness and intimacy feel safe? And can we do that with ourselves first? This is where journaling comes in. Like when you start to journal and you're just talking to yourself and letting yourself vent and process all these things via writing. And writing is good because you create new neural pathways and these new connections. And it helps you have like personal intimacy with yourself, which is key. We need that. Linda, all of that, yes, and trying to work on it. Also getting better at spotting, I think you meant to say, spotting um, the energy vampires faster. I have Asperger's, and it really makes it hard to socialize. Pretty much set me up for that. Um, you can decide that, um, I mean, you can decide that socializing is easy for you. I think, Linda, from everything that you told me, I think socializing is difficult for you, not because of Asperger's. There's plenty of people that have Asperger's and can socialize. Um, but I think it's more of having an abusive parent that told you you were shit and, like, not built you up in the way of like, "Oh, yeah, you're beautiful, you're all these things." So and I'm saying that because I don't know if this is true for you. I don't know if this is true for you, but I have noticed that a lot of people get misdiagnosed with Asperger's because from trauma, and they're just in these freeze response of like, "Oh my god, I'm afraid to be seen because my narcissistic parent told me I was so unlovable," and all these things. So, I mean, and I am someone that's been misdiagnosed. I think I've been misdiagnosed with that because it's like, but it did look like Asperger's. I would be like so frozen, especially in groups of people, because of these messages that were still playing in my head about how ugly and stupid I am and how everyone hates me that my mom was telling me. And that I believed at a young age, not knowing any better, not knowing she was projecting all of her shit onto me. So, and I absorbed that as true for a while. And it showed up and it looked like Asperger's, especially like I just said in group situations. So, when I started working all that, all of those symptoms went away. And I don't think anyone would ever know that I, used to have like so much social anxiety and that I was misdiagnosed or people that had Asperger's or anything like that. So I'm just saying it's something to look at, right? Because those things look very similar, but it couldn't actually not be that. Um, Martin, what is a book, movie, or piece of art that completely changed how you view people? A lot of things, but, like, I don't really know if a piece of art or a book like, my life experience and choosing to work on myself is what really helped me change how I view people, not a book or anything like that. It's, like, certain books and, like, my education have helped me understand things and understand myself and therefore understand the world and people differently, but not really anything like I would say A Course in Miracles helped me change, but it's not really a book, it's like a course, and the literature on the other side of it is so dense and, like, you could read it forever for and get something different out of it. It's so, because it was someone downloading information, from Christ consciousness. So, but again, that's not really like a book or a movie. So, um, but yeah, I would say anything like recently, A Course in Miracles, all of Neville Goddard's work, which is about how we use our consciousness to create the life that we want. And again, he's someone that's like, hey, all the most successful people in the world know this, and they're controlling you and telling you to not pay attention to this stuff so they can control you. Because if you realize how powerful your mind is, you can create anything that you want, and then we won't have like poor people or peasants that we can just control. And so I'm just saying that those are the things that um yeah, they have to do with the mind and consciousness and understanding what Christ consciousness really is, which has nothing to do with religion at all. It's a state of being where that we have access to through what we call our imagination or being aware. Like Neville Goddard, like one of my favorite books of his is called The Power of Awareness, because all of your power lies within that. I would definitely recommend that. Like sometimes in the morning, I'll just like listen to The Power of Awareness like over and over and over again to like get it into my subconscious and unconscious mind. Um, I don't know what most people overlook, right? I don't I don't have that judgment or the statistics on personality traits that most people overlook. I appreciate authenticity. Hi, Miss Priya. How are you? How you doing, girl? Miss Priya, what about loved ones that discard your mental health but claim they care about your physical health? Well, mental and physical health are related to each other. So if you're around people that don't understand that, I feel like, Miss Priya, a lot of questions you ask me are about like getting into jade with these people, which is justifying, arguing, defending yourself, explaining yourself, and at some point even engaging with them. If you've done all of the things on jade and they're still not, they just want to argue. They just want to do this. You have to remember like that people are addicted to certain patterns and certain energy, like drain. Okay, am I back? Cameron audio is out in case no, I saw it go out on my end. Can you let me know if I'm back? And let me try to remember what I was talking about. Oh yeah, I think I was talking to Miss Priya about not getting into jade with these people. And yeah, like if someone really cares about you, they'll care about your mental and physical health. Thanks, Bob. Sorry about that, you guys. So yeah, Miss Priya. So if that's the case and it's frustrating and it's been a pattern, then I would stop engaging. Just be like, this conversation's off topic or is off limits. I've had this conversation with you anymore. It doesn't go anywhere because otherwise you're just feeding their addiction and maybe even your addiction to the drama. I don't know. So let me know if that makes sense. What is going on? Okay, here we go. Linda, oh yeah, my mom can be real with me. She can't take anymore, but she'll do anything she can to make, yeah. It's just that's what narcissists do. They offload all of their shit onto other people. So you don't have to take care, you don't have to do that anymore. Thank you for the advice. Time for me to log off. Bye. Thank you, Linda. Nice meeting you. I'm back, Miss Priya. Yes, technical issues. Now we're back. Did that make sense what I was saying, Miss Priya, if you're still there? Sorry about the going out, but for a second. But yeah, we want to decide, like, is this interaction serving me? Is it helping me in any way? If it's not, if you're just doing the same damn thing all the time, it's like, yeah, I'm not doing this again. We've had this conversation 10 times and the same outcome happens. And you know what? They'll just find someone else to do it too. They will. So yeah. But I guess I'll wrap up. Excellent questions, you guys, as usual. Practice that neurological reprogramming technique that I went over, the anchoring technique that I went over in the beginning. And then I'm here every Sunday at 5 p.m. PST. And then Wednesday, I'll see you guys Wednesday at 6 p.m. PST. Oh, yes, Miss Priya, tell us about a win. My win is getting outside this weekend in the sun and doing and moving helped me feel at ease, less worried. Love it. Love that. Exactly. The sun and movement are such good self-care. I'm so glad you did that for yourself. If your crush will never love you, then it's time to release those obsessive thoughts that you're having about them. And if you are chasing someone that hasn't loved you, there's I guarantee that there's probably some childhood trauma or some trauma attached to, I love people that aren't available. So you're addicted to people that aren't available because you're trying to heal some wound. Like you're associating love with emotional unavailability because one of your parents or both of your parents were like that. So can we reassociate love with people that show up for you, people that feel safe, peace and relaxation, not anxiety, like I have to chase them, because I guarantee that's what's going on with you. You are so welcome, Marble Dreamer. Incorporate those things. Next time I see you, hopefully it's Wednesday, let's hear about some of the momentum even if it's just little baby steps, let's hear about some of the momentum you took to move forward with those things. But yes, you're very welcome. And I'm so glad you had a nice weekend, Miss Priya, and you did those things. Excellent self-care, you guys. All right, I'm going to wrap up. I will see you guys Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I love you so much. And if you have questions that you want me to answer on the next live stream, I leave up all the live streams. So if you have a question and maybe you can't make it, I'll still go over it. Just DM me in Instagram or on TikTok and we'll go over it. Okay. And Bob, thank you so much. You did a great job. Again, let's round of applause for Bob. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You make this so easy to do, and I'm so appreciative of you. So thank you so much, Bob. We love and appreciate you up in here. And I was also thinking maybe on Wednesday, like I want to start doing more stuff about borderline, all of it, like handling it. Like I need to start creating more content about it too. So you're inspiring me, Bob. I think that'd be really fun, especially since you have like a background in it and expertise in it. And the biggest expertise is like, our own life, I think. But anyway, I'm just saying that out loud so I remember to do it for Wednesday and maybe even create some content. That would be awesome. All right, guys. Yes. Okay, good. I'm glad. I'm for it. Good. Okay. Thank you again, Bob. Thank you, everyone. I love you guys so much. Have an amazing week, and I will see you on Wednesday. Check in with you guys and answer your questions. Love you. Bye. See you soon.